we have our infinite loop. The first thing that we need to do for every iteration is to check for new connections. When working with TCP, receiving incoming connections is actually called accepting. The TCP listener has a method called accept. So if we just go accept on the listener, this should listen for new connections. We can see what accept does. It accepts an incoming connection from the listener. This function will block the calling thread until a TCP connection is established. So what that means is that our code will hang here until a new connection arrives on this address at the listener. Okay, and when established, the corresponding TCP stream and the remote peer address will be returned. All right, we see that it actually returns a result. The reason for this is that the connection might fail, and this is why it wraps the TCP stream that it returns in a result. But actually, it doesn't return only the TCP stream, but it returns two things simultaneously. It returns the stream, and it returns the address of the client. In some cases, it is quite convenient to be able to return more than one value from a function. To achieve this, Rust uses tuples. Tuple is a general way of grouping together a number of values with different types into one compound type. Tuples have a fixed length. Once declared, they cannot grow and shrink in size. In this example, this is a tuple with a length 2 that has two types in it, a TCP stream and a socket address. Let's define our custom tuple so we can actually see how that works. We can define a variable, let's call it tube for tuple, and the syntax for defining a tuple is a comma-separated list of values inside of parentheses. So we open our parentheses, and in here we can say the number 5, and then we can put a string, and we can also just put our TCP listener if we want. A tuple can contain any number of different types. So right now we see that the type of our variable is this compound type of an I32 and the string slice and the TCP listener. If we wanted to return these three types from our run function, for example, we could just say that the return type is this tuple of these three types, and here we can just let that as the return type, and this code will compile. This is how we would return multiple values from a single function. But for now, let's get rid of all of that because we don't really need to return multiple values from our function.